$100K junior dev salaries are disappearing, and OpenAI's GPT-4 adoption just proved it. Here's what most junior developers don't realize. You probably believe junior dev jobs are secure and will continue to be in high demand. That's the belief most people hold walking into their career in 2024. But the research tells a very different story. According to Gartner's latest 2024 analysis, AI is expected to replace 30% of junior developer jobs by 2025. Not reduce, not shift, replace. That's not a rumor from a tech blogger. That's from one of the world's leading research and advisory firms analyzing hard data from Fortune 500 CIOs and tech hiring pattern. And here's the delta that matters to your wallet. The difference between the expected job security you were promised and the actual risk of displacement. That's $20,000 to $50,000 per year income gap. For some junior devs, that's the difference between paying off student loans and going into deeper debt. For others, it's the difference between building emergency savings and living paycheck to paycheck. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact numbers behind this disruption, how OpenAI's product adoption is accelerating it, and what specific steps junior developers need to take right now to stay ahead of it. Let's start with the data that nobody wants to talk about. OpenAI reported in their latest financial disclosures that GPT-4 has been integrated into enterprise workflows across 92% of Fortune 500 companies. That's not 50%, not 70%, 92%, and the primary use case: code completion, code generation, and junior-level code review automation. What does that mean in real terms? It means that tasks that used to take a junior developer 40 hours a week, boilerplate code, basic API integrations, unit test generation, documentation, can now be completed in 2-4 hours with GPT-4. Sometimes faster. The Bureau of Labor Statistics data from Q3 2024 shows that junior developer hiring, entry-level software engineer roles, declined 18% year-over-year compared to Q3 2023. Meanwhile, mid-level and senior developer positions increased 7% in the same period. That's the opposite of a healthy talent pipeline. That's a contraction at the entry level. And the salary compression is already visible in the data, according to Levels. FI's latest compensation benchmarks, which tracks verified offer letters from tech companies, the median junior developer salary, 1-2 years experience, has shifted from a consistent $105,000, $115,000 range in 2022 to $78,000, $92,000 in 2024. That's a 25% reduction in just 2 years. But here's where it gets worse. That's the stated salary range. The actual impact, when you factor in reduced signing bonuses, fewer companies extending offers, and longer hiring cycles, pushes the effective take-home disruption closer to 28-32% for junior devs trying to break into the market right now. For someone starting a junior dev career expecting $100K, that $28K, $32K gap isn't abstract. That's $200, $300, $700 per month less in take-home pay, an extra 3-4 years to pay off a $60K student loan, the difference between renting alone and needing roommates to afford a city where tech jobs exist, delayed retirement savings during the critical compound interest years, ages 22-28. Now, why is this happening so fast? Let's look at what's actually driving this from the supply side. OpenAI's GPT-4 was released to the public in March 2023. Microsoft integrated it into GitHub Copilot in the same quarter. By Q4 2023, GitHub Copilot had 1.2 million active users, 60% of them developers in enterprise settings. In Q1 2024, that number jumped to 1 million active users. What are those 1 million developers doing? They are writing code 40-55% faster, according to GitHub's own benchmarking data. More code output per developer hour. Same developer, less need for junior devs filling the gap. Anthropologic's Claude, Google's Gemini, and Meta's Llama are all competitive products now in the market, each with their own enterprise integrations. The point isn't that one AI is replacing junior devs, it's that the entire ecosystem has shifted, and junior dev productivity is no longer the limiting factor in most code bases. Architectural decisions and systems design are. Those are senior roles, so companies have two choices: hire the same number of junior devs and watch productivity crater because there's nothing for them to do, or right-size the junior dev team to 60-70% of historical levels and upskill the remaining juniors faster. Most companies are choosing option 2. That creates a bottleneck. Here's the second data point nobody's talking about. VC funding in AI coding tools hit $2.8 billion in 2024, up from $1.2 billion in 2023. Where's that money going? To companies building tools that automate the junior dev workflow further, not to hiring managers or recruiting firms. It's going to Cursor, to V0, to Devin, to Poolside AI. Each of these is a company that turns describe your feature into working code faster than a junior dev can write it. This isn't conjecture. This is capital flowing toward automation of the junior dev layer. Now, the question most junior devs are asking, is this reversible? Will the market correct? The research suggests no, not in the traditional sense. According to a report from McKinsey analyzing software development productivity post-AI, firms that implemented AI coding assistants reduced their junior dev hiring by an average of 31%, but increased their overall code output by 23%. That's not a temporary shift. That's a structural change in how software is built. What's happening is a skill recalibration. The jobs that are surviving and growing are 1. AI augmented senior roles developers who use AI as a force multiplier, moving 3-4x faster than pre-AI developers, becoming 10x more valuable. 2. Domain-specific engineering roles that require deep knowledge of a specific system, protocol, or business domain that can't be solved by a 30-second GPT-4 prompt. Think blockchain engineers, ML engineers, distributed systems architects. 3. AI training and prompt engineering companies now need people who can build domain-specific models, fine-tune LLMs, and optimize prompts for specific workflows. This didn't exist as a mainstream role in 2022. Now there are thousands of job openings. 4. Systems and infrastructure engineering DevOps, cloud architecture, database optimization. These roles are increasing because every company is optimizing infrastructure around AI workloads. The generic junior full-stack developer role is contracting. The specialized, AI-aware roles are expanding. So what should a junior developer do right now if they're just starting or just beginning their career? First, understand that the baseline junior dev career path of spend 2-3 years writing CRUD applications and learning the fundamentals is no longer viable as a standalone strategy. AI is going to do that. Not perfectly, but well enough that the time to value isn't there anymore. Second, accelerate your learning toward one of the 4 resilient categories I mentioned. If you're learning to code, don't stop at JavaScript and React. Learn how to fine-tune models. Learn how to build AI agents. Learn infrastructure. Learn how deployment actually works at scale. Get to specialization faster than the traditional path allowed. Third, reframe your negotiation. You're not negotiating for a junior dev role at $95K anymore. You're negotiating for a role where you're using AI as a core part of your workflow, a role that a pre-AI company would have needed 2 developers for. That positioning is worth more and it's defensible. Fourth, if you're currently a junior developer, don't wait for your company to upskill you. Take it on yourself. Build projects using Claude, using Cursor, using V0. Get genuinely good at prompting, at evaluation, at catching the errors AI makes. That's the future of the craft. And it's faster to learn than traditional CS fundamental. Fifth, watch the data. The junior dev salary compression we're seeing right now is real, but it's also happening in real time. Companies that are smart are already starting to recognize that the market for mid-level AI-aware developers is going to be much tighter. If you can get 18 months of experience and position yourself in that middle tier while the ladder is still forming, the career arbitrage is enormous. The last thing I'll say on this, the $100K salary disruption for junior devs isn't a feature of the market. It's a symptom. The feature is that software development itself is undergoing a phased transition. The junior dev role as it existed for 20 years, entry-level, high-volume, low specialization, is being automated. The roles that are growing are specialization first, AI integrated, and require more context and judgment upfront. If you're aware of this shift now, while it's still happening, you're ahead of 95% of people entering the field. If you ignore it and follow the traditional path, you're going to feel that $20K, $50K gap in your first offer, and it's going to compound. This is the moment to make a different choice. If you want the full breakdown with specific skill paths, implementation strategies, and the complete financial analysis, the deep version is in the companion book, The AI Layoff-Proof Career, link in the description. The biggest takeaway, junior dev jobs aren't disappearing because the market doesn't need developers. They're shifting because the market doesn't need generic junior developers anymore. Specialization, speed, and AI leverage are now